Hello dear students, a very warm good morning to all of you and welcome back in our biology session. So as we know from the first schedule we are discussing about the living world and this is the last lesson from our schedule number 1 and in this lesson we are discussing about the different characteristics of living things. Okay, up till now we have discussed so many different characteristics of a living thing. Now we are going to move for the next characteristics of a living thing, that is nothing but what? Living organisms have definite lifespan. Okay. So if there is a living thing, if there is a birth, then there is a death. Okay. So each and every living organism is having specific lifespan. Okay. So whenever the living organism is getting birth, okay, or there is one chain, according to that chain, each and every living organism passing from that chain. So there is a birth, then there is a growing, then there is a aging, then there is what? Death. Okay. Again I will repeat and in that again I will add one more thing, that is whenever the living organism is get birth, it started to grow. Once it get complete, then it started to reproduce. After that there is a aging and after that there is what? Death. Okay. So these are the certain steps. In each step each and every living organism is passing from each and every step. Okay. And after certain period that living organism get dies. Okay. So what I am telling, if there is a birth then there is a death. Means each and every living organism is having certain lifespan and in that lifespan only they are living. Now what is mean by lifespan? The time period for which an organisms remain alive. Okay, so the time period for which an organisms remain alive, or the duration, in that duration the animals are living or they are alive, that time period is called as what? Lifespan. Okay, so the time period for which an organism remain alive, okay, is called its lifespan. So each and every living organism is having different types of the lifespan. If you are going through the different, as we know that our earth is full of different organisms. There is a small insects also and there is a very big elephant also. Okay, so there are the different organisms which are made up of different or which are having the different lifespan. Okay, so now we are going through this chart. See, in this chart there are the different organisms names are given and their lifespan is given. So the first one is there, that is bacteria. Bacteria's lifespan is 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, then there is a mayfly and the lifespan of the mayfly is 1 day. Housefly is there, the lifespan of the housefly is 1 to 4 months. Then rice plant, its lifespan is 4 months. Then there is a rat lifespan is 2 to 3 years. Then squirrel is there, squirrel lifespan is 8 to 9 years. After that there is a dog. If we talk about the dog, then the lifespan of the dog is 7 to 18 years. Then come lions, lion ear span is 20 to 25 years. Then there is a ostrich, ostrich lifespan is 45 to 50 years. Then it comes human being and the human being lifespan is 65 to 80 years. Then there is a tortoise and the tortoise lifespan is 120 to 150 years. Then there is a banyan tree and the lifespan of the banyan tree is 20 years or more. Okay, so all living things have a definite lifespan and lifespan is different for different organisms. After the completion of their life cycle, living things dies. Okay, so say here up till now we have discussed about the different organisms and their different lifespan. So for the specific duration or there is a certain years, among that certain years only that living things are alive and that time period is called as what? Lifespan. Once the lifespan gets finished, then the living organism it gets die. Okay, in this way different organisms are having different lifespan. So this is about the one characteristic, that is what living organisms have definite lifespan. Now we are going to move for the next and the last one characteristics of a living organism, that is nothing but what? Cellular structure. Okay, cellular structure. So up till now we have discussed about the different characteristics of living organisms. Okay, but in that all the very important thing is that cellular structure. What is meant by cellular structure? Each and every living organisms are made up of cell. What they are made up of? Cell. Okay, and we can say that the cell is the basic unit of living organism, or cell is the structural and functional unit of living organism. Okay, everyone's body or each and every living organism's body is made up of cell. Our body is having proper shape, structure, our body performs a different function because of what? Cell only. Okay, so each and every living organism is made up of cell. The cell is the building blocks of our body. If we talk about the construction site, okay, then the building is going on and that building is getting proper shape because of what? Bricks. With the help of the bricks we can give the proper shape to the building. Like that our bodies also having proper shape. In our bodies also there are the building blocks. But what is the building blocks in the living organism? That is what? Cell. Okay, that is what? Cell. So the cell is the structural and the functional unit of living organism. It is the basic unit of a living organism. Everything whatever is present in our body is made up of cell. It is made up of cell. Okay. So this cell, some organisms are made up of only one cell. Okay, some organisms are made up of only one cell. Their body is too tiny. Okay, if the organism is made up of only one cell, if the organism's body having only one cell, then we cannot see that organism with our naked eyes. Okay, and the organism which are made up of, their body is made up of only one cell, then that organisms are called as unicellular organism. Which organism? Unicellular. Uni means what? One. Cellular means what? Cell. Okay. So in this way what we can say, the organisms are having only one cell in their body. Okay. And whatever we are having the functions in our body, like that we are having the digestion process, respiration process, excretion process, reproduction process, all that processes going on in our body. Okay, like that in that small organisms also all these processes are going on in their body, but the difference is that all the life processes are taking place with the help of only one cell. Okay, with the help of only one cell all the life processes are going on. Okay, so the body of the organism is made up of only one cell, then they are called as what? Unicellular, or also they are called as microscopic. Okay, also they are called as microscopic. Okay, why microscopic? Because to observe them we have to use the microscope. Without using the microscope we cannot observe that animals, or we cannot see that organisms without microscope. That is the reason they are called as microscopic organisms. Okay, so here we have completed what? The unicellular. Uni means what? Only one. If the body of an organism is made up of only one cell, then they are called as what? Unicellular organisms. Okay, now opposite to this, if the body of organism is made up of many cells, okay, if the body of organism is made up of many cells, then that organisms are called as multicellular organism. Then that organisms are called as what? Multicellular organism. Multi means what? Many, and cellular means what? Cell. Okay. So if the body of an organism is made up of with the number of the cell, okay, we cannot count it exactly the number of the cells, then that organisms are called as what? Multicellular organisms. Okay, and these organisms we can see very easily. For example, we can say lion, tiger, ant, elephant, human being, cat, dog, so many other. Okay, or all the organisms that we can see with our naked eyes, that all the organisms comes under what? Multicellular organism. Multicellular means what? Many cells. Their body is made up of many cells. And here we are taking the example. If we talk about the unicellular organism, then the examples are like we can say, we see here in the image, amoeba is there, paramecium is there, euglena is there. All these are the examples of unicellular microorganisms or the unicellular organisms. Okay, so these are the two types of the living organisms on the basis of the number of the cells, that are unicellular and multicellular. Okay, that are unicellular and multicellular. Now the next one is that the living organisms is having cellular structure. Now what is meant by the cellular structure? Or they are having the proper organization in their body. They are having the structural organization in their body. Here we will discuss. So in the living organism there is a structural organization found which is totally absent in the non-living things. Okay. So let's discuss what is meant by structural organization. So just now we have discussed about the cell. Okay. What is meant by the cell? The basic unit of living organism is called as cell, or the structural and the functional unit of living organism which is called as what? Cell. Okay. Now my dear student, keep in your mind or listen it properly. When the same cell, when the group of the same cell or when the similar cells comes together, and then one form one group, then it forms what? Tissue. Then it forms what? Tissue. Okay. So the same types of the cells comes together, it forms a group, then it forms tissue. Then tissue comes together, then it forms organ. Okay. When tissue comes together, then it forms organ. When so many organ comes together, then it forms system. Then it forms what? System. And with the help of all the different systems which are present in the human body, it forms the organisms. It forms what? Organisms. Okay. So in this way there is a structural organization present in the living things. Okay. Cell means what? The basic structure and the functional unit of living organism, which is called as cell. Next one there is what? Tissue. What is by the tissue? When the group of the cells comes together, same types of the cell comes together, then it forms the tissue. Okay. When the tissues comes together, then it forms organ. When organs comes together, then it forms one system. And with the help of the different system, it forms the organisms. Okay. For example, we can say that cells are there. Then so many cells comes together, then it forms a tissue. When the so many tissues comes together, then it forms the organs of digestive system. Okay. So many organs are there in the digestive system. We can say mouth is there, esophagus, small intestine, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. Okay. And with the help of that different organ forms what? System. And then it forms what? Organisms. Okay. So here what we can say? In the system the different organs works togetherly. Okay. Different organs perform the different functions. Then it forms the organ system, and from that organ system it forms the organisms. Okay. So like this cellular structure is present in the living organism, which is totally absent in a non-living thing. Okay. So up till now we have discussed the so many different characteristics of a living organism, and to keep in the mind that different living organism or the different characteristics of a living organism, I am having one shortcut. Okay, so there is one shortcut to keep all the 7 characteristics of living organism in your mind, that is Mrs. Gray. Okay, Mrs. Gray. So see, each letter represents the one characteristics of living organism. First one we can say that M for movement. M means what? Movement. Okay. R for we can say respiration. Then S for stimulus. Okay, or the sensitivity. Then G for growth. Then R for reproduction. Okay, R for reproduction. E for excretion. S for X-ray, and N for nutrition. Now nutrition means what? Living organisms need food. Okay, living organisms need food for their growth. Okay. So in this way you will keep these 7 letters in your mind, and you can easily keep all these 7 characteristics of living things. Okay. So this is about our point, that is what? Characteristics of living things. So up till now we have discussed so many characteristics of a living thing. Now we are going to move for the next point, that is there are some living things which are useful for us and which are harmful for us. Okay. So let's discuss about the first one, that is useful living things. So many living things are there which are useful for us. For example, we can say the plants. Plants we can use for the household purpose also and for the industrial purpose also as a medicine. So many plants are there that we are using in a house, so many plant products we are having as a food. So many plants like a hera, beheda, adusa is there. Okay, all these are the medicinal plant. Aloe vera is also there. Tulsi, all these are the medicinal plants that we can use as a medicine. Okay, different animals are also useful for us. Some animals like fish are there that we can use as a food. After that, we can say that sheep, goat, hen, that organisms we can have their meat or we can have their as a food. Okay. After that, we can say cow, buffalo gives us milk. Some organisms like we can say horse is there, oxen is there, donkey, elephant helps to in the different agriculture activity, or also we can say that to transport the luggage from one place to another place. Okay. Also there is a earthworm as which is called as what? Friends of farmer, the farmer's friend. Why? Because earthworm makes the soil fertile. So in this way all these are the living organisms which are useful for us. But if there are the useful things, then obviously there are the harmful things are also there. So there are the certain organisms, there are the certain living organisms which are harmful for us. For example, we can say that different flies and mosquitoes spreads the different diseases. Also leaves are there. Leaves, ticks can spread the diseases. Rats, mice, okay. Cockroaches can destroy the food items. They can destroy the crops, okay. After that, there are some lizards, spiders, scorpions, or the snakes are there. Their bite is so much poisonous. If they will, but there are some poisonous snakes are also there. Spiders are also there. Okay, if they will bite us, then sometime it will causes the death also. If the wild animals goes into the society, then they will destroy the all the society. There are some plants are also there. There are some weeds like a dodder, which is very harmful. After that, there are the certain plants. If we will consume that plants, if we will eat that plants, then there are the certain irritation develops in our skin, in our nose, or in our hand, and sometimes in our throat also. Okay, for example, we can say that calocasia. You can see in the image what is the calocasia. So if you see or if you eat that calocasia, then our throat started itching. Why is it so? Because this calocasia leaves contains the needle-like crystals of calcium oxalate. Okay, it contains the needle-like structures of calcium oxalate that started to irritate our throat. Because of that crystals or that needle-like crystals, our throat started to itching. Okay. After that, there are the certain poisonous plants are also there. For example, we can say datura is there. Datura is a poisonous plant. Sometimes what happens, there is the uncontrolled growth of the fungi and the algae on the water bodies, and because of that, what happens? The water pollution takes place. Okay. Sometimes the wild animals comes in the society or in the locality, and because of that, they can eat the domestic animals, and also sometimes it will attacks the it will attacks on the human beings also, and which causes the death also. Okay. So in this ways, there are some useful things also, and there are some harmful things also. Okay. So this is all about today. Up till now, we have discussed the different characteristics. That is the 7 characteristics of living organisms we discussed. We discussed the harmful and the useful living organisms. So here we have completed our lesson, and here also we have completed our schedule number 1. Okay. So this is the time that we will stop here. We will meet in the next video with the next point. And for today, thank you.